Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, I've got a 12-0 guide for you guys for the brand new Gus skin, and also up to 30 star drops if you complete this challenge. You only get 4 lives as well, so it's really critical to watch this video. Look at the compositions. Also, the challenge is starting on the 24th. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already, and let's just dive into it then. So yeah, I did say you will get 30 star drops for completing this. The rewards will bump up. So to begin with, you'll get 1 star drop per win, and then the next stage you'll get 2 star drops per win, 3, 4, etc., and that total to 30 if you get to those 12 wins. So starting off with gem grab last stop. So of course you know the meta by now probably. It's basically just Mo and Kenji everywhere. I'd say on these maps in particular though, it's not so much of a spam fest, but on this map it definitely is. So unfortunately, if you've not got Mo and Kenji, you're at a major disadvantage. But if you've got those 2 brawlers, just abuse them. You probably need to find a teammate that has one of these 2 brawlers because they're just that broken. And if you want to take a look at the best builds, I did a video on that already. And then you can, if you've not got one of those brawlers down the lane, you can go Chester, Gale, Tara. I will say if you've got to use a gear in particular, it's got to be vision gear on this map. So with your mid brawler, pick the vision gear and the shield gear. With your lane brawler, pick a vision gear. If you're playing Kenji, vision gear is not going to be great. Then as I said, Chester, Gale, Tara, good alternatives. And then for your mid, the gem carrier, you want a long range brawler. So the first brawler I'll say is Piper. Piper's a little bit harder to use and you've got to use a knockback gadget. So it's up to you. A little bit more safer could be Angelo because at least he's got a bigger jump and he's got more survivability. You've got Gus as well with his knockback and his shield. You've got the likes of 8-bit and you've got the likes of Max as well. So a lot of mids to choose from, but it is round number 1. There shouldn't be too much sweating. Again, it's making sure that you've got a couple of big heavy hitters that are able to take down those noobs. So now jumping on to set number 2, we've got Bounty Hideout. So for this set, every win will be 2 star drops, so even more on the line. And as you can see by the gameplay, the best composition in my eyes is going to be Larry, Piper, and Gus. The reason being is because Larry's just so good. If they've not got a wall break, you can just go down that left-hand lane and nothing's going to be able to touch you. And Larry's just really good in the meta. He's going to be good against other throwers. He's going to be good against assassins if you're using the reload star power. He's just really good S-tier brawler right now. And then we've got Piper. So Piper is just insane. You've got the curve gadget, homemade recipe. It's able to confirm kills easily and everything like that. And then I went with Gus, but you can go with a different brawler. You can go with like Jean's really good on this map. You can go with the likes of Kenji if you're feeling a little bit more aggro. You've got Byron, Nanny, Belle, Angelo, Pearl, Jean. There's so many good options in Hideout, but I will say you need something that at least, you know, there's going to be some aggressive brawlers. It's the first couple of sets, and that's where you tend to see those like Edgars and Kenjis and just people just go in all out assassins. So you do need at least one brawler that can deal with aggro, whether that be like a Piper knockback, maybe if you want to switch over to the gadget, whether that's the likes of Pearl, which is really underrated. Because the thing about Pearl, by the time you've pushed up the map, you're fully heated up, you've got the gadget just to burn through people, and no tank's going to be able to take down Pearl. So that's actually one of my sneaky picks that I'll end up playing during this challenge, by the way. And then again, Jean can at least counter assassins on Bounty because of the pull. He can easily pull towards, and then your teammates can help you. So yeah, with Hideout, I will say the one thing you've got to bear in mind is try not to get pushed back into spawn too quickly, because it's really hard to fight out of that spawn trap. But at the same time, you've got a lot of open area down the left hand side. So if you go into full back in any position, fall down the left side of the map, there's so much open area, especially if you've got a couple of snipers. It's going to be really hard for like Kenji, etc., to push into you. So that's kind of like your little safe place, and especially if there's a thrower as well. So yeah, it's Bounty. Of course, you just don't want to die. So now moving on to set number 3, we've got Heist Safe Zone. So Heist is a really hard one in particular, mainly because it's just a hypercharge fest and games can be over so quickly. So this one's going to be hard, but the best composition in my eyes is Chuck, Angelo, Colt. But if you feel like you're not too comfortable with like Angelo, for example, because he is a clean-up brawler, you could just go all out. You could just go like Melody or Colette or even Daryl, something like that. So the reason why you have to go Chuck is because if you go down the left-hand lane on safe zone, you put one of your posts kind of in the middle, by either lake essentially. You want a post on each lake in the middle. I'll put that on the screen. And then, of course, you want that post on the high safe. And you can just keep going back and forth. And then, typically, you want an Angelo to clean up the mess. Normally, he can defend a Chuck pretty easily because he's just floating in and around the river. It's really hard to deal with an Angelo right now in this meta. And then, of course, you've got Colt. Colt is just high DPS. If you leave a Colt on the safe, he can just rip through 25% of safe so quickly. Hypercharge, gadget. There's just so much damage with Colt, and he's one of the best Heist brawlers. Again, if you're not so comfortable, you've got Colette. Colette will be able to feed off a lot of the Heist meta brawlers. You know, there's a lot of Chuck, Melody, Daryl. So Colette's just going to get free hypercharges. And people don't know how to not feed Colette, if you get what I mean. And Colette normally goes down the left-hand lane. Easy supers on the safe. Easy hypercharges that deal 25% to the safe. Not much more to really talk about there. And then, of course, you've got good other options as well. Melody. People forget about Melody, but she's so easy to play. And just run it down. You've got the likes of Mo as well that can deal a lot of damage. But I will say there's actually not a lot you can really play in the Heist meta because it's just mainly DPS and hypercharge brawlers, which will just ruin the fun. So yeah, I don't know what to really advise here. You just need to go all out damage. Just make sure that you can calculate. So for example, you're not leaving like a Mo on the safe with super, you're not leaving a Colt with the damage gear active. Just be wise. And yeah, if you get a couple of deaths in a row, your Heist safe's going to get deleted. So at least try and stagger your deaths. So now we're going to be moving on to the all-important fourth set. It's going to be Knockout out in the open. And boy, is Knockout really sweaty in these challenges because the game can just be over in a flash. You know, a couple of gadgets, a couple of bad plays, and that's it. That's when your life's completely gone. So of course, pay attention here. So the best composition in my eyes is going to be Angelo, Piper, and Gene. Main reason being is because Gene is so good on this map. You've got the grass in the center, you've got the vision gear with him, and you've got the fact that Gene can just make anything happen. He's just so good at pressuring the opponents, so good at healing your teammates with magic puffs. Yeah, he's just beautiful for out in the open. Next, I think the best pick is actually Angelo. So the reason why I love Angelo, you can just float across the water down the left. There's always a safe place there. And you also get to mid quicker than anyone else. You can even use a gadget to jump forward if you wanted to. And you can just start the pressure off really easily. Of course, got a super to heal you up in clutch situations. It's just hard to kill an Angelo, and that's why he's so good in Knockout. And then I went with Piper because it's Piper at the end of the day. Piper can just deal insane damage. You've got the curve to confirm kills easily. But I will say there is a cheesy composition as well. So I recommended it last time, and the cheese is still really evident on out in the open. So if you want to go cheesy, you definitely can. So the cheesy composition is Daryl, Kit, and then you probably want to go with like Byron or Piper or just something that can support them. So essentially, if you're using this strategy, you want to both camp Daryl and Kit down the right-hand lane. I will say that you'll pretty much lose the first round every single time, but a lot of the meta compositions in out in the open won't really counter the Daryl and Kit cheese. Or you can, of course, counter that if you're scared of facing it. I'll go into that in a second. So by the second and third round, Kit just jumps onto Daryl. Daryl has 2 free supers now. Literally, this was such a broken strategy before Daryl got the rework, and he should just be able to take over literally everyone. It takes no skill. So either go the no skill strategy, or if you're scared of facing a lot of Kit and Daryl, you need one of 2 brawlers. You need either Pearl or RT. So RT is so good at countering this composition because you've got the gadget that can just split instantly and deal a lot of damage quickly. You've got Pearl as well. Pearl is such an underrated pick in Knockout. You can easily just sneak in the grass, pop gadget on any sniper, and they're pretty much dead every single time. And then you've got the cheese composition, which Pearl can shred through. And you've also got some other underrated picks as well. If you're not comfortable with any of the other snipers that I recommended, you've got the likes of Bell, pretty good on this map. You've got Byron, and you've got Gus as well. So if you manage to complete this, or if you manage to actually lose, you do get the chance to buy 2 extra lives for 9 gems, and you get 10 lives total. So I believe you can buy 3 sets of 2 extra lives, which I think most people should be able to complete. But I would say it's actually worth it because 30 star drops is a lot. That's a lot of potential progression. That's a lot of resources that you can potentially get. So let me know down in the comment section below whether you need to find any teammates, and let me know how you get on as well when the challenge drops in a few days. So that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.